Shalom, shalom, Yasharal, and to the grafted in believers all over. Welcome to Yah's Way or the Highway. Tonight I'm gonna just do a quick video, and this is for the comments on my last two videos. The one I did on YouTube and the one that it'll be on YouTube soon is coming from TikTok about the disbelief in the naysayers, so saying that the so-called Afro-American Negro is not the true descendant of the 12 tribes of Yasharal. If we are not, then who? So for the naysayers, for the hardcore Christians, for the whatever you want to deem yourself, I'm going to do this for you in hopes that the Most High allows you to gain understanding and see who you are, and if you're not, who you need to be cleaving to. And for that purpose, I'm going to use your good old King James Bible, you know, the one that y'all hold supreme over everything else. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. I have my son Yarden. He's going to be reading tonight. Deuteronomy chapter 28, we are going to start at verse 15.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right, so that's clear. The Most High said, if these people he is speaking to, now this is the book of Deuteronomy. All of this is happening right still at the mountain of Sinai, where the laws were given, the instructions, everything. So he's talking to the same group of people that came out of Egypt, even the ones that soldiered among them out of Egypt. Same group. He's clearly saying, these are the curses that's going to come upon this special people that he chose if they do not listen to his instructions. Verse 16.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
17.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Now, most of this, everybody gonna say, well, that happened to every people. And yeah, that's true. That is very true. But understand, if you read the so-called Old Testament, which is really called the Tanakh, you'll see Yasharal, or Israel, was at one point on top of the whole world. Due to the disobedience, these curses that we just read started to happen to our people, or to those people. Let me put it like that. You know, they started to slowly fall low. They started to slowly become the tail instead of the head. All right, verse 20.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness in thy doings whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Now, most of these earlier curses applied to those that are in the land, when our people were still in the land. So we're going to jump over to about verse 36. And we're going to look at some of these hardcore and ladder curses. And then we're going to be honest with each other and see what group or what nation of people that this applies to today. Verse 36.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
Okay. Which nation of people were taken to a place that none of their ancestors knew about? Because the first thing people are going to say is, oh, slavery happened to everybody. And yeah, that's true. But what nation of people as a whole was taken to a place that their ancestors knew nothing about, and they were first forced to worship gods, false mighty ones, of wood and stone? Example, the wooden cross or the stone cabal. You got your Christian cross and your Islamic stone, the two greatest religions. And it's written right here in the scriptures. What are the two greatest religions here in this place? All over the world even. Christianity, Islam, wood, and stone. Verse 37.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
An astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. What is a byword? Something that negatively describes you and it doesn't even apply to you. Everywhere on this earth, the so-called black man, no matter where he is on this earth, no matter what language is being spoken, no matter what territory he in, what culture, what nation, in some shape or form, always called nigger. That is a byword. Black. That is a byword. We're not black. We're different shades of brown. Afro-American. It's another byword. How you gonna be from two places? But that first word, nigger. Every country, every tongue, all these language barriers, but that word magically sounds the same in every tongue. What other nation has that happened to? What other nation gets that same amount of down-talk and disrespect all over the world? If not us, then who? Verse 38.
Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it.
Like I said, you read the Tanakh, you know the plagues that hit our people. Verse 39.
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them.
Continue.
Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast its fruit.
All right. And people gonna keep saying, well, yeah, those curses happen to everybody. And yes, at one point or another time, everybody experienced this. But what people as a nation, you have to apply all the curses. What people as a nation has went through all of these things. Let's go to the next verse and see if the whole world experienced this.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but they shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. That's twofold. A lot of our sons and daughters were taken from us in the transatlantic slave trade. A lot of our sons and daughters are taken from us today through the jailhouse system. You know? Another teenager from a different race can get a slap on the wrist, and one of our sons and daughters can do the same crime and get 5 years easy in jail. 10 years easy in jail, life, parole for 5 years, waiting for you to mess up again. Why is it like that? It ain't because America hates us. It's because of these curses. Continue.
All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
The stranger that is within thee shall go up very high. We are the lowest. We're at the bottom here in this place called America. The very bottom. We're at the bottom. We're there. Everyone has risen up over us. Continue.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
He shall lend to us, but we ain't going to be able to lend to them because we don't own anything to lend back. They the head and we the tail. Don't we have to go to the other nations for everything? What factories do we own? What ships do we own? How can we import? How can we trade? Everything we get, we have to get from the other nations. Everything. Housing Authority, Section 8, food stamps. Even if you're doing all right for yourself, you still got to pay taxes. You're never going to own it. It's never yours. The paper has your name on it. You're still paying the government taxes. Why is it like that? Continue.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
Yahweh said these things are going to overtake us because we did not follow his instructions. So how are these things going to come up off of us? By returning back to his instructions. My people are still going through these curses because they have not returned back to Yahweh. It is written right here. Continue.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Forever. These curses was read over 4,000 years ago, and here we are. They're still affecting these people, these specific people, these certain special people. Keep going.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Keep going.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Serve our enemies and want on all things, and a yoke of iron should be placed upon our neck. Our people had yokes of iron upon their neck for almost 400 and some change years. Even today, yokes of iron are on our neck. They're not physical, more spiritual. What other people has this happened to as a whole nation? If not us, then who? Continue.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
The transatlantic slave trade. The men who captured us, we knew. But the ones who we was traded and sold to, we never seen those people a day in our life. We never heard their tongue a day in our life. They came from a far, far, far away place, as swift as an eagle flies. Same great eagle that is on the money and everything else in this country. What other people has that happened to as a full nation? If not us, then please tell me who. Continue.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Continue.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
Continue.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest, throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Continue.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons, and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee.
If no one else, then who? No one can name any other nation that has went through these curses as a whole. Verse 54. I want to pay attention to this one.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
The man that is tender among you and very delicate. We're talking about the strong man. What's going to happen to the strong man?
His eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall lead.
His eyes shall be evil towards his brother. Let's start there. You know, certain people, I'm not even going to call you out. You know who you are. A certain nation of people love to talk down on our people and say, oh, you blacks full of violence. Everything you do is violent. Everything you do is murder, death, kill. And sadly, it's true. That is a curse. It's written right here. He said his eyes shall be evil towards his own brother. Listen to our music. Listen to the rap music. Shoot 'em up, bang, bang. You don't hear Billy Ray in country music talking about I'm about to jump on the horse and ride around to Jody house. You don't hear that in country music. You ain't never heard Elvis make a rock and roll song about banging on Billie Holiday or whatever that guy's name is. You don't hear them stuff. You don't hear Taylor Swift singing about banging on Katy Perry. The brother's eyes evil towards his own brother is us because it's a curse. The next part, his eyes evil towards the wife of his bosom. It's our men who out there making babies and doing their woman wrong, won't make them a wife, cheating, disrespecting, treating her like she's nothing. That's our men doing that. Yeah, it happens in all nations, but it's our men. Let's be real. And his eyes evil towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Our nation has the most single mothers in the world. Other cultures don't do that. You know, the other cultures, the mom and the daddy can hate each other, but they're not going to split up. That is only in our culture because it is a curse from our Creator. Verse 55.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege. In the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband, toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son and toward her daughter.
Now, let's talk about our women. The tender and delicate woman, as she once was, after this curse, her eye will be evil towards her husband, won't be submissive, does not listen, cheats on her husband, disobedient to her husband, laying with multiple men when she has a husband. Her eye shall be evil towards her son and towards her daughter. You don't see any other nation of people, of women, be in the store cussing out their kids, smacking them upside the head. Don't get me wrong, discipline is well taught in my house. Even the Most High say you spoil the rod, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. But what other nation of women take their frustrations of the world out on their own children more than our women? You got women who have kids by men, and then they get mad because the man ain't doing right or the man left, and they treat the child better or worse than her other children, depending on how she feels for the child's father. That is a curse. This is a curse. No other nation is under that. White men be cheating on their women all day, every day, and they go home and sit at the table and have family dinner. The wife ain't gonna say nothing. Through all of that, she's still gonna be obedient. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, so let's just jump to it. Jump to verse 64.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Word of stone again. Scattered all over the earth. Keep going.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
We have no rest here. The police, who's supposed to protect us, they kill us. Our own brothers, who we're supposed to be in harmony with, kill each other. Sisters can't get along. They hate each other. Fathers missing from the house, children growing up to be monsters. They turn around and creating the same cycle. Keep going.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
What other nation feels like this? What other nation is scared every time their child leave the house and don't get home when they say they're supposed to be home at a certain time, and that time come, now you're nervous. Oh, I hope my child is all right. I hope nothing happened. What other nation hear gunshots every 10 minutes in their neighborhood or police sirens? What other nation gets nervous whenever the phone rings because they think they're going to hear bad news about their loved ones? These are curses. Keep going.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
That's how we be. Man, I hope this day hurry up and pass. Fearing for what the day gonna hold. The nighttime come. I hope I sleep safe tonight. Don't know somebody gonna run up in your house. Now, verse 68. The nail in the coffin that no one can deny, but even though they try to, you cannot deny it. Read it.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
What nation as a whole was thrown into ships, taken to a whole different land that they do not know of, nor their forefathers or ancestors, then taken off those ships and sold as bondmen and bondwomen, aka slave men and slave woman? And before anyone get in these comments to say, well, it happened to the JEWISH, no, they were never thrown on any ships, and they were never sold as nobody's bondmen. They were persecuted, yes. I do not take that from them. But the way that is written and spoken of by the Most High, no, never. Somebody read this verse 68 in this comments and then explain to me the transatlantic slave trade and who are the people who was involved in it. If we are not the people, then who? Before I end this video, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. So we can know who he was talking about and who he was talking to. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. It's the same book we just read from. The Most High is talking to the same people through Masha, through Moses. Let's see what he said. Verse 6.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
He said, you are a Kadash, set apart people unto Yahuwah, your Elohim. And he chose these people to be special unto him above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not in any way a part of any camp. I do not follow any camp teaching or doctrine. I do not believe that salvation is only for the so-called, what you call, black people. I do believe that the other nations can be grafted in, but as Isaiah 58 tells us, they must cleave to the natural branch of Yasharel, Israel. I didn't write any of it, but it's in the book. Before I go, I want to bring one more scripture out. And again, before anybody comes in the comments, or, most of you guys don't even come in the comments, you just read the title and then go to the comments. Watch the video. Go to the scriptures, and you tell me, if not us, then who? Before we go, let's go to Romans chapter 11. And this is for the people of today who say, oh, yeah, Israelites, yeah, y'all was the people. You messed up, and now it's going to the Christians. You have to show me where it is written. The covenant was always made with and for Israelites. Show me where the Christians got a covenant. You have to show me that in the pages of this book. Romans chapter 11, starting at verse 1.
I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Now that's Paul. Good old Paul, who y'all love to run to. He said, has Yahuwah cast away his people? Allahuya forbid. For I also am a Yasharaim, from the seed of Abraham, from the tribe of Benjamin. That's Paul. Paul said himself he is an Israelite, and the Most High has not cast away his people. If we are not the people of the book, then who? I say shalom. All praise to the Most High. In the name of his son, Yahusha. Yah's way on highway.